Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Dr. John Michael Salvato, and you're watching the Peak Performance Blueprint. It is Monday, the 29th of August, and this is Mind Shift Monday. But we're going to take a little bit of a different tact this morning, and we're not just going to strictly talk about mindset, but mindset in action. Because I think what happens so often is that people think, well, if I make the mind shift is, supposed to do the magic. And in some cases, certain mind shifts actually do that. You make a decision to let go of fear, magic happens. But there are other mind shifts that we do that do require us to take some action. And I'm going to apologize up front that this will be a shorter session because, post heart attacks and surgery, I am a little weak right now. I just did the 10 o'clock focus call for our primary business for our SBC team, and I am really losing steam fast. So I'm going to try and keep this short without taking away value. So today's mind shift is quid pro quo. And for those who aren't familiar with that and who might not know what that means, quid pro quo essentially means that you give something in exchange for something else in return. A classic example would be somebody wants to know the answers to a test that you're about to take in school, and you say, well, quid pro quo, I would like your piece of chocolate cake at lunch, and so that's something for something, and it's an exchange of whatever's of value to you and of value to them. It's very simple, very similar in its reality to the law of equivalence exchange. The law of equivalent exchange takes that one step further and recognizes that universally, in order to accomplish something of equal or greater value must be given up, must be exchanged. A quid pro quo is an agreement that is made for an exchange of something for something else. And the reason I use the title quid pro quo today is because so many times when I'm talking to entrepreneurs, they tell me how they've been abandoned, how they've been orphaned. Somebody signed them up and promised them that they were going to be their best friend, they were going to help them make $1 million, and all of a sudden that person goes missing after they've signed up. And in those cases, that's real abandonment. But other times, I've seen people who say, my sponsor just isn't doing anything, and they're not helping me, and they're not, I'm not growing my business. Or I see the typical crybaby who tells me, well, this just doesn't work anyway, so maybe I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to pick up my marbles and go home. And that sort of mediocre mentality. And then when you try and explain to them that their mentality is the problem, that their mindset is the problem, they take a temper tantrum, and they're never the people to show up on these trainings. They're never the people to participate in anything that might challenge them to take a good close look at their personal responsibility for the chaos and mediocre results in their lives. So, but see, what happens is that so often those same people have bought into the bullshit story that's being told by unethical marketers. They bought into the idea that there's, magnificent spillover and you're never going to have to lift a finger. They bought into the lies and the hype that, all you have to do is put your money down and this thing's going to grow. And some of them have gotten bitten by the even more dangerous hype that says, give me $3,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about network marketing, and that money is just going to start pouring in. We call that the laptop lifestyle syndrome, where somebody believes that all they got to do is throw $5,000 or $10,000 into the latest training program or internet marketing university, and then go sit on a beach, open up their laptop, and watch the checks come in. And you see, folks, those are lies. Those are all absolute pathological lies. And the people who buy into them are usually desperate folks who are desperate to make money because they've thrown so much of their money into other useless programs, and they're just not making any money. Because if you're selling old information, you're selling information that can be found on YouTube. You could go to YouTube and learn how to make funnels. You can go to YouTube and learn how to follow up with customers. You can go to YouTube and learn how to do autoresponders. But if you're too lazy to go to YouTube and learn how to do that, then spend a reasonable amount of money, $100 a month or so, to let some of the legitimate companies out there that have training programs, that have real leaders involved with them, show you how to do those things. And understand that some of the strategies they're going to teach you are 1990s strategies, because the industry has moved in completely different directions. But they can't tell you that about funnels and things like that, because if they did, then the founders of those companies lose a lot of money in their funnel systems, lose a lot of money in their autoresponder systems, lose a lot of money in their landing page systems. So I'm here to tell you today that quid pro quo is the safest and smartest way for you to get results in your business. And what I mean by that is, if you want a sponsor to support you, if you want a sponsor to help you grow your business, if you want to see some serious growth and benefit from working with a leader, then get off your ass and start working yourself. And it's simple. In my business, if a person, we know the numbers. If a person makes 5 calls a day, or speaks to 5 people a day, and invites those 5 people from social media or people that they know, love, and trust to take a look at a 5-minute video, they are going to reach the gold rank in their first month. They're going to reach the platinum rank in their second or third month, diamond rank maybe in their 5th or 6th month. They're going to be making serious money. And the people who are stepping up and doing it on a daily basis, instead of making excuses for why they're not doing it, are the ones who get my attention. And that works the same way for every leader that I know in this industry. And you guys know that I know a lot of them. If you want to work with an amazing leader like Diane Hochman or Jim Hochman, you want to work with an incredible leader like Brian Finale, you want to work with an emerging leader like Amparo Titmus, then you have to be willing to show them that you're not going to accept mediocrity for yourself. That you're going to take action every single day. And that's just how it works. So, if you're not getting the results that you want, then this is the time. This is the mind shift that every single day of your life is going to be quid pro quo. Stop your lies to yourself, because you're not lying to me, because I don't buy the bullshit. Stop the excuses that you try to pass off to the rest of the world because it makes you look silly, because we recognize them for what they are. And just say, hey, you know what? I might have made some really bad decisions in the past. I know I have. We all have. But today I'm going to make the decision that this life, this universe, rewards me for my effort. And so I'm going to take 3 steps today to move myself one step further. If you were starting out on a trip from New York City and you were heading straight down 95 because you knew your direction, because you were coachable, there's a big key. You connected with the authority, which in this case would be MapQuest or your GPS. So you got the authority, you got the coaching you needed. So you went down 95 from New York. If you even only went 5 miles a day, you would eventually get to Florida. It's just a simple fact. You're on the right path. You're taking steps every day. The outcome is predictable. The same thing happens with your business. If you get the right coaching and you take steps every single day, you're going to get to where you want to go. Some are going to get there fast because they're going to take those steps quickly. They're going to apply them diligently. They might have the time to spend more time working on building their business. Others don't have that privilege right now, or that luxury. So they're going to take whatever steps they can take, but they're going to do it every day. There isn't a single person who's watching this video who doesn't have 15 minutes a day to devote toward building their business. And if you don't have 15 minutes a day, then you should drop out of this program and go become a greeter at Walmart, because you're not coachable. But the rest of you can take even 15 minutes a day so that you can make 3 or 4 steps every single day. And it might take you a year or 2 years. But let me ask you something. Is what you're doing right now in your life going to reward you with a 6-figure income 2 years from now? If the answer is yes, then maybe your goal is to make a 7-figure income 2 years from now. So are you gonna reach your goal in 2 years if you keep doing what you're doing right now? If the answer is no, then you need to put your ego aside. And yes, it is your ego, no matter how much you want to stomp your feet and let your ego try and tell me that it's not. And let yourself become coachable and learn a couple new skills and apply those skills on a consistent basis. And I promise you with my whole heart that if you consistently take effort every single day, 5 days a week, take any 2 days off that you want, that at the end of your first year, you're looking at a six-figure income. At the end of your second year, you're looking at a mid to high six-figure income. At the end of your fourth year, you're looking at a seven-figure income because the numbers take care of themselves. And I don't care what business you're in. If you make those consistent strides on a daily basis, the numbers take care of themselves. I could walk into any company as long as they had a legitimate product, a value-based product that was reasonably priced, and a compensation plan that wasn't something crooked like binary compensation plans. It wasn't something unethical like a binary plan or a two-up or one of those nonsense plans. If they had a legitimate compensation plan, I could go in there, whether it was network marketing, real estate sales, insurance sales, car sales, I could make it happen. Just give me 48 months and a plan and product to work with. So could you. So I'm going to open it up to any comments that you guys have because I am running out of steam. I want to know if it makes sense to you, this whole idea of quid pro quo. Your sponsor, your coach, your upline, your boss, your sales manager, whatever your circumstance happens to be, is never going to do more than match your effort. That's it. That's the bottom line. So guys, weigh in and give me some feedback. Anyone?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What you're saying is totally ringing true. And we've talked, and I've told you, I've let a lot of my past experience really weigh down on me today. Starting yesterday, actually it was after hearing Aaron's hangout the other day. Hearing that really kicked my butt into gear. It's like, okay, stop with this. This is ridiculous. A couple other words probably popped in my head too. But it's like, all right, you know what? I really don't care because these people aren't paying my bills. And if they are, that means they're digging the product. So hey, who cares? It's those sides of the coin there. And I started posting about it, and really, like today, I just posted a thing. I'm looking for 10 people who want to get rid of wrinkles, and I'm just leaving it very basic because it's like, well, I have wrinkles, I want to get rid of them, so I'm gonna wait and see, who's gonna message me, who's gonna comment. I've actually also been going through my box, and I've got friends. It's like, hey man, I just need you to do me a favor. Can you just watch a 5-minute video for me? Let me know if it looks like something you like. Let me know if it's not something you like. Either way, it doesn't cost you anything, and you're helping me out. That kind of thing. I really needed to get past all that. And my brother was the first one who's like, Jesus, what did you get yourself into this time? And it's like, dude, just could you do it and just shut up for 3 seconds, okay? So yeah, it's definitely getting it out there again. So it's hopefully, well, I got my first pre-enrollee, so yeah. Something's happening, so right on. And I did add him to the MID group and messaged him and all that fun stuff, and I told him to friend you, and I'll probably send him like your page and everything to do that too. So.
Well, and a couple of the things that I recommend. Got you there. Okay, so a couple of the things I'd recommend. A lot of times, what I like to do with the people that I know is I say, hey, I got to tell you, especially when they say, what are you doing now? So you're not going to believe this. I got involved with this company. It's been whatever length of time, and they have a system in place that's already put 10,000 pre-enrollments in my group. That's never happened before. And the more incredible thing is there's over 100 or 200 or 300, whatever the number is, paid customers that they've put into my group. And I just want you to check this out because, first of all, I want to make sure that it's not a fluke. And I want to know what kind of numbers you get. So just do me a favor, pre-enroll. It doesn't cost you anything, and then get back to me in a couple of days. And that approach should sound very familiar to you because it's the exact approach I used with you. And it's legitimate because in those first 5 days or 6 days that I was in the business, I was stunned and could not believe that those numbers were sustainable. And then I watched the video, and this video was, and I posted it in the group. This video was from a guy back in March, I believe, February or March, who was saying how it was in March. He was saying how in their first month, I can't believe our entire group has grown by 1,000 people. Our volume has grown by like $10,000 or $20,000, and I listened to that because the program was 3 months old. The power line system was 3 months old when this guy did his video. That was 4 months ago. And in the 4 months time, we've jumped to the point that in a month where his group grew by 1,000 people, my group grew by 200,000 people. Where his group volume grew by $10,000, mine grew by $250,000 in a month's time. So we are really in a point where the momentum is becoming unstoppable. I mean, when I watched that video, I was stunned. I was at the hospital, so I couldn't even call anyone and tell them because it was a day that I just didn't have any voice. I was just watching videos on my phone, and I just said, "Holy shit! I've just got to post this." With your friends who you're talking about the wrinkles, there's a gal that you guys are all in her upline in the power line, Dr. Deborah Cannon. So she will take care of you as though you are her own children. She's a close personal friend of mine, and she's family for me. So reach out to Deborah, ask her for her sister's before and after pictures, and her sister is this lady who's invited a group of her friends to try the product on half their face, and they went crazy and they want the other half. And her sister's before and after pictures are going to be posted in our group because I just asked Deb to do that. And that's really that's the kind of stuff that it takes for women to say, hey, I'll try this. And I always let them know, look, you don't have to be a distributor. I'm not asking you to be a distributor because customers and distributors count the same. Now, I know some of the people who are watching this, maybe one or two of you out of the entire group are not on my SBC team now. And so I apologize that we're talking about SBC, but I think it's relevant. I think it gives you sort of a backdrop or framework to be able to compare this to your business or your company. There may not be anybody that's in the group at this point who's not part of SBC, and my prediction is that that even 6 months to a year from now, this group will continue to be 98% SBC folks, because really and truly, once people see what we're doing, they don't care about what they're doing so much anymore, and they want to get involved in something that's making money. So this is probably the peak performance group is probably going to become the SBC training or the fastest growing group in SBC, which is what I intend for us to be this year. So, Sandy, give us some insight into this idea of quid pro quo and really having to take action every day on these mindset ideas.
Absolutely. I've been practicing it intentionally for the last 2 weeks, in a different manner, but the result is the same. I visited a house of a friend of mine in the retirement community that I want to go to, and I thought, wow, this lady's just waiting for an assisted living because she has macular degeneration. And I thought, you're not ready. If this lady is ready to go and you want to buy her house, you're not ready. You've been sitting on your hands. If you know what I mean by sitting on your hands, that means I haven't been doing what I know I need to do. It applies to everything in life. Once you have the mindset and you're ready, tell yourself what your goals are every morning when you get up. Wake up with a smile. Don't wake up with, oh my God, what's today going to bring me? Because right there, you're already saying, oh my gosh, I probably can't do this. But once you make up your mind that, hey, this is something I can do, I want to do, it's going to benefit me, it's going to benefit my friends, If, in my case, it's going to benefit me tremendously if I have everything ready to go and my files all scanned, the ones I want to keep, when it's time to move, because otherwise I'd be behind and it would cause a whole lot more money spent, all kinds of negative things. So I'm on it, and I think once we develop that I'm on it attitude, just like what Jennifer said, she's on it now. She's made up her mind. Nothing's going to stop her. You're into a healing mode. You know what you have to do. You're going to do what you need to do, but you're not going to step out of that zone of where you're supposed to be in this healing mode you're in. So that's all I really have to add today. Just once you make up your mind, that's going to turn, and you keep that mindset foremost in your thoughts. And when something goes like, oh, I don't want to do it right now, just push that right out of your mind and say, wow, I can do this. I can do this in 5 minutes, and that's done. It's a whole different, it's just a change in how you operate because of what you're telling yourself and how you're telling yourself you're going to do it.
Absolutely. You know, and it really comes down to, for me, that a quid pro quo agreement cannot happen if you don't have a clear enough why. And so again, it comes back to something we've talked about time and time again on this program, and that is clearly identifying your why, your reason for doing this. As Sandy just mentioned, I'm in healing mode right now, and a couple days after the massive heart attacks and after the stents were put in, I had a really rough day and a really rough night, emotionally and physically. I felt terrible, and I was really, it really hit me that I had two massive heart attacks, that I almost lost my loved ones, that I had to watch the person who means the most to me in this world suffer so tremendously, thinking he wasn't going to see me, and believing myself that I wasn't going to make it down to the operating room, because that was how close I was to, I mean, the doctors even believed that. And that hit me, and it hit me all at once, and it just really brought into focus as I did the work that night, since there's not a friggin' thing you can do in a hospital but think and read and sleep. It brought into sharp focus my why. You know, why do I do the things that I do on a daily basis, and what does this heart attack, or these two heart attacks, mean to me? You know, what's this going to mean to my life? And what it means is that I just have to work smarter. You know, it means that the work that I've done on myself, the eating healthy, the taking the right supplements, the living a healthy body, mind, and spirit, were the only reason I can justifiably say that I made it through those two massive heart attacks and the one minor one. That gave those doctors the best chance that they had to work the miracles they do with medicine, that will protect my life. But I also understand that stents don't prevent heart attacks. Stents don't extend the patient's life at all, not even a minute. So the only thing that can extend my life is my life, is my lifestyle. It's the actions that I take beginning today, and so it's quid pro quo. And so that means for me that I had to immediately look at my schedule and adjust my schedule. It means that I had to become okay with saying that there are going to be some days that this peak performance blueprint message might be recorded the night before, because I know that I'm starting to not feel well and I'm going to need a day off. Or I may have surgeon's appointments, or I may be going away for surgery for the other two stents. And I had to be okay with that. I had to give myself permission to make my health the number one priority. And I knew that my team, that my movement, that all of you love and support me, and that certainly makes it easier to know that you understand. But I also knew that one of the biggest things I had to do was to inspire in each of you that recognition that you don't need me here on a daily basis to continue your good work, to continue the progress that you're making. And I'm not saying goodbye. I'm not preparing to leave the planet. You've heard me say, heaven doesn't want me, hell's afraid I'll take over. But what I'm trying to prevent is there have been some people who had prospects ready to sign up in this business, and who decided, and I recommended that they get in touch with this leader or that leader, and I talked to those leaders and said, hey, can you talk to this person for me? And they said, sure, we'll take good care of them, we'll get them signed up. And then the team member said, no, I'll just wait till you get out. So they slowed the momentum of their business down. They took money out of their pocket and mine, and they put that person, that prospect, at a disadvantage because they were ready to get started. They had questions and had time to find out more. And instead of doing the right thing, they used another excuse to sabotage their success and stay mediocre for another few days. Now we're going to fix that. We're going to help them get that person enrolled. We're going to help them learn not to make that mistake again. And I don't want you guys to think this is the John Michael show. This is about you and your business and empowering the lives of others. At the end of the day, it's not about you either. It's about us empowering and transforming the lives of those that we touch. So I want to leave that with you guys, that this quid pro quo, what we get back in terms of better health and financial fitness is part of a quid pro quo agreement. And what we give in return for that is value to the marketplace, compassionate service to others, solutions that people are looking for. Nobody wants to look old. Nobody wants to feel or be fat. And nobody wants to have the stress, the anxiety, and the restlessness that comes from not getting an adequate night's sleep. We have solutions for those problems. Nobody wants to suffer from worrying about finances. And we have a legitimate solution, a 90-day plan to help put somebody back on the right course financially. So guys, keep that in mind. Take that with you into this week. Remember that we're here to help you with whatever business you happen to have. If you happen to be in my business, I can help you even quicker because I know all the ins and outs of what you're trying to accomplish. But even if I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, we can spend some time together, and in short order, I'll understand and be ready to help. Stay in the moment, guys. Be grateful for what you've got. And always remember the best is yet to come. We'll talk soon. Love and appreciate you.